I have to generalize and tell you that we were shocked by the position of the Russian Federation on the issues we were trying to raise, because when we are trying to convince the old member states in education, we came across a strong resistance beyond the borders of the European Union. And I have in mind the attitude of the modern Russian Federation, its attitude. It actually witnesses about the internal situation of the Russian Federation, and I would just like to cite the last document issued by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Russian Federation by Mr. Dolgov about Mr. Seimas's opinion expressed in Geneva. It includes even a threat that the European Union, well, it speaks so that we have no right to assess our past. Russia is trying to speak on behalf of the United Nations, and I believe that it has no right to do this. And in general, we are very much concerned about a number of other issues related to refusal to recognize our occupation. How does the world view the history of non-recognition of the occupation of the Baltic states? Back in October this year, we heard the assessment of the Prime Minister of Sweden, the policy of Sweden in 1940, and the evaluation was negative. We remember, like back in 1975, Australia recognized the occupation, and in a few months it cancelled. So the Iceland was probably the only state that remained within the zone of recognition of the occupation. It relates to the current day, not only the history and our boring recognition development. It shows that there is a space next to us where monuments to former Chekist and KGB leaders are re-erected, which means that we should feel the threat to our today's regimes and our independence. That aim at least not to allow Europe to reevaluate the historical past. Some of the colleagues, for instance, Mr. Zurov, in Jerusalem Post, the day before yesterday, demanded that Lithuania retreats from Prague Declaration of 2008, signed by me, Professor Landsbergis, and Václav Havel. I would like to state to Mr. Zurov very clearly that Lithuania, that proclaimed this year the year of Holocaust and addressed other member states, calling them to do the same. And our whole process has been related to assessment of the totalitarian regime, not the under-evaluation of Holocaust. What we are trying to do is also to evaluate the losses after Molotov and Ribbentrop signed the agreement, the treaty, which in the historians' debates by Schneider has been called the bloody territories. So, not refusing to evaluate this regime would lay the foundation for emergence of new regimes that would not allow younger generation to learn about the past, the historical past, so that the young people may not allow new totalitarian regimes to emerge. I'm sorry I have changed the course of our session, but as far as I see it, we also have the duty not to allow the past to come back, to emerge anew. We are obliged to prevent the new crimes of the totalitarian regime of the 20th century. Thank you.